Less than a week after their terse exchange at the White House over federal funding and transgender athletes, it appears now President Trump does intend to use the courts to get Governor Janet Mills to bend to his will. On Wednesday, his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, sent a letter to the governor informing her that it does not matter that Maine law allows or even requires state athletic associations or other entities to require girls to compete with boys, and that federal law, specifically Title IX, supersedes it because it is the supreme law of the land. She goes on to tell the governor that if current federal investigations of Maine's Department of Education show that girls were denied equal opportunity to participate in sports and athletic events, DOJ stands ready to take all appropriate action to enforce federal law. Now, Maine came up on President Trump's radar, at least in part, because of a social media post about a transgender high school athlete made by a member of the Maine House, Republican Representative Laurel Libby. She was censured by the House just last night in a vote down party lines. Now, as Donovan Lynch reports, her fellow Republicans are pushing for new legislation on transgender athletes in Maine sports.
Gender at the forefront in Augusta.
Male athletes are taking opportunities from female athletes.
I think it shouldn't be an issue where we're targeting vulnerable kids.
Republican State Representative Elizabeth Caruso unveiling a bill seeking to ban transgender athletes from playing girls' and women's sports. A draft of the bill also calls for school bathrooms and changing rooms to be male or female only, with few exceptions.
Mainers and Americans alike are more united on this issue than any other.
The bill, one of several submitted by Republicans to change Maine's laws surrounding gender. It also comes as the Mills administration is locked in a fight with the White House over the state's resistance to follow an executive order barring athletes born as biological males from playing in women's and girls' sports. The move bringing a federal Title IX probe and threats of cutting federal funds. Caruso believes her legislation will change that.
It will automatically bring Maine into compliance with Title IX and the president's executive order.
Response by Democrats is split. Some, like Senator Mike Tipping, defend Maine's current policy.
I think we need to make sure that every kid gets to play on the sports team that's best for them, and I think it shouldn't be an issue where we're targeting vulnerable kids.
But others in the party expressing a willingness to back Caruso's bill. Democratic State Representative David Rollins saying, quote, "A big part of my constituency and my own personal family values aren't supportive of biological born boys competing against females." Rollins adding that several of his colleagues agree. But with the House on Tuesday moving to censure Republican State Representative Laurel Libby over a social media post using pictures of a transgender minor, the question of motivation top of mind in this debate.
We should never be using kids as political fodder, which has happened recently. I'm not saying that it's happened in this situation.
We're not standing in a room of politicians because this is not a political issue.
In Augusta, Donovan Lynch, News Center, Maine.